osquery. Today I am going to discuss about osquery. So this is one of the technology we can say we are used in the different purpose. But today I'm going to talk first what is the osquery and where we can use, and also there are some couple of feature which this osquery offer. And last also I am planning to demonstrate, because this is a very not commonly used by the every developer to writing the software. So I am going to quickly show how you can download and what are the way to install, and some given basic example so that you feel comfortable and uh, play you around as well as. So osquery is a kind of a technology which help us, as you mentioned, OS means operating systems. So this as a technology, uh, a tool you can say, which help us to uh, know something about your operating system, like operating system instrumentation framework. That means you want something what is happening inside my operating system, maybe some file changes, some configuration changes, some system logs, someone going to change. I want to know, I want to track what is going on, number of processes, which process is going on, what are the runnings, what are the kernel levels, lots of things our operating systems is doing. As a normal user we are not know, but as a security analyst sometime we need to know about operating system what is going on. So you can say osquery is the one tool which help us security analyst to analysis your system, what is going on your system. So this osquery is available for Windows. That means you want to tracks and monitors what is happening on my window machine, your window nodes, or maybe macOS, or maybe Linux. So good part, this is available across the platform. And if you talk about uh, more about osquery, so this is the good part. This is the very kind of fast and tested as per the osquery documentations, and as a personally we I'm using in my application. And it is also you can run everywhere, because and this is the good part, this is open source and it is cross platform. So these are the plus point. This is the open source and cross platforms, and you can say it is a tested and many leading player where the domain like security information and event management domain, SIM domain, where security analysts are using this osquery. And whatever the application that are going to the build around the security domain, SIM domains, osquery is the one of the best tool which help us to analyze our OS, operating system, machine, node, server, router, anything. So let's talk about more what the things this osquery offer us. So if one machine or server or router, what number of processes running, what are the current state, maybe if you want to know more about the kernel information, what is the good at the kernel levels, or even you want to know what kind of connections is currently our machines have established, and even what kind of plugins, what kind of browsers they are going on, and even what is going on hardware levels, what the file system someone going to the change, someone memory changes, someone data connection changes, or even the file system, some files someone want to generate files, someone to create file, someone want to monitor the file, some file system changing happening, someone going to the change. So you can say lots of activities on the operating system going on. Those activities as a security analyst we can monitor, we can view. This is the good part. They offer very simple level of way. And whenever we're going to run demo, you can visualize, hey, very easily we can monitor our operating systems. So if you talk about the high level feature, you can say basically here you can say majorly two kind of a majorly features here. We have a OS query come as a two mode. You can say the two way we can use. One is the as a daemon mode, as OS query D. Another is a OS query I, interactive mode. Means so in daemon mode look like if we want OS query run as a daemon, and it's allowed to schedule a query to execute across your entire infrastructure. That means daemons run as a daemon services, and on the schedule basis you tell, hey OS query, I want to execute query 1, query 2, query 3 in this entire infrastructure, entire node, entire machine, entire file system, entire directory. And second thing, this sometime as a security analyst, we are going to log in on the particular machines and want to check, hey, just write the SQL query and want to check what number of processes, what is then going on, what is the load, what is the user, what is the current user, which user what doings, all the kind of things. Is there any system log someone going to change, who is the user, what the times. So many things we can using just OS query I to interactive query console, and that help us to understand the OS query. So for initially best option for the any security analyst or any developer who want to know about your operating system, what is going on, OS query I means your interactive tool very help us to run the simple query about OS. And third additional feature you can say OS query also offer about the some low level operating system API that for we can do analysis and monitorings of your machine, of your infrastructure, of your operating system, of your layer. So low level API somewhere many times we are building the our own application, and our application want to talk to the OS query, and OS query talk your a specific layer. So in this case, like if I am going to build one applications and where I am saying, hey, this is the customer UI interface, here interactive graph chart about your OS related activities, then our application internally going to talk your OS query. OS query talk as a OS query daemon running on your machines, and here we have a lots of OS query API available. So we can talk via API. Means ki one application can talk to our via API, and API response whatever the data we want. So generally, while building our applications, we are using to talk to the OS query via API, maybe remote configuration and different flavor, different way. As your one application can talk to the OS query. Okay, so let's talk more basic about something OS query uh, daemon. So if we talk about the OS query daemon, this is the host monitoring daemon that allow to schedule query and record operating system state changes. That means whenever your machine, on the machine lots of processes running, someone to changing our operating system state, means maybe changing the file system, maybe changing the kernel level, maybe changing the some schedule environment level setting, maybe someone setting some OS related change. So whatever the changes happen on your operating system, you can record them and you can get from the API. And this operating system daemon also uses to, like I say, eventing API to record the monitored file, directory changes, hardware event, network event, and more and more. That means you in one operating system, means one machine. If you talk about the server, if you talk about the router, if you talk about the node, load balancing, lots of things. the particular hardware, lots of things going on. Maybe someone file modifying. Let's say I want, this is my configuration file. Who one modifying, when modified, what content they modified, which some directory can you created, some directory change, someone permission change, any hardware level event something happen, or any network event something, all kind of modifications, anything's happening on your operating system, on your node, on your server, on your router, this operating system help us to get those information by a simple API, by a simple query. So let's talk about the second interactive mode. Like say osquery also provide one of the daemon services run and simple for testing for security analyst. Hey, you can use the osqueryi and run the operating system query. Good part, whatever the OS query look like just our simple database query, maybe MySQL, or whenever we are in the college we study SQL, Oracle database, MySQL, Postgres, whatever the syntax like basic syntax here, like select column name, column 2 from this process. So here select look like a same query which we are running in your as a college on a database like a relational database. Select particular column from the particular table. The select column names from and table. The question is that what is the table? Where do we get the tables? So by default, whenever you are going to install your OS query for your operating system, almost major kind of activities going on. For that, OS query automatically created the tables and you can just query and ask the answer. And by default, if you want to say, hey, what kind of all tables OS query created, you can check. There is one also the Confluence page web page where they have also table available for different operating systems. So I'm going to demonstrate as well as this query how you can run this query and check. I want to let's see, want to figure out all my tables. What are the table names? You can use the dot tables. Even you want to this table, which number of columns they have, how I know? Simple, they have a command like schema and pass your table name and it will give you the complete schema name, complete column name. Want to more help, just help command, or if you want to just exit from your console OS query cell mode, just dot exit, yeah, control D. In this way you can exit. So all these example things we are going to run in a demo so that you can more feel comfortable instead of just theory part. So let's think, whatever I am going to run this query, first you have to download and install, because this is the by default in your operating system. You cannot find the SQL. Any software you have to install. So by default, this OS query documentation say you can go and download official OS query binaries from this official documentation, OS query downloads, or in the Windows machine or Linux machine, they are available for everywhere, and you can go and install from Chocolatey. So let's do. I'm just going to demonstrate this scenario. Let's just copy this and go to your here. So if you notice this, by default operating systems they have a download facility available, and you can just download what are the latest version of OS query. And lots of operating systems, they have Mac operating system, Windows, Linux, maybe different version of RPM, or Linux, different version of Linux as well as, and they have complete steps how to do. Even for the window, let's say window, you can either Chocolatey as well as. So if you want to, let's another mode, instead of going to download binary and install, let's another option we have a go to this Chocolatey plugins, and this is Chocolatey help us to how you can download, install and upgrade. The same command I mentioned here, how to install, how to download. So let's I open the PowerShell window and check. So notice if I run this command like mentioned here, osqueryi. So notice this command by default on my machine not install. Say, hey, this command is not found. So let's install, download and install. So I'm going to just use this documentation. Hey, chocolate cook command to install, and this is quickly you can say install. This is not, let's what about latest versions of labels on your machine they want to install. Yes, and whatever the binary, whatever the latest binary they are founding, like a 511 the latest boundary they are downloading, and it will take a minute of time you can say. Easily download and install, and then we have to play. So this is the part also in this here you can check, and after that we will just some references whatever we talk about the OS query. Like here this is the official you can say uh, official documentation where you can just read out whatever I am talking each and everything in this official website. This is the for the performant endpoint visibility, because generally these applications are not used by directly human being, but used by another sim application, security analyst application, and they have lots of this API expose the endpoint which we can consume, and lots of feature they have mentioned whatever I'm talking everything here mentioned. Okay, so let's hope it will install. Okay, it is the deny to install. What say retry? Let's again. It will be. Let's check uninstall. Let's we have a uninstall option. This is the uninstall command. Let's this will uninstall. Yes. Uninstalling fail. Let's see. Open the PowerShell. Okay, can be good. Power open as a administrative, so installation can work fine. Let's again. Hey chocolatey, give me install command. Install. And it will install. It will not take a now. It will going to install packages, because whatever the latest version you want all, just press R and it will download it. Sometime maybe it will good option you can allow the administrative permissions before installing, so that properly they install, because this OS query is a required kind of permission to take your all the OS permission. Now it's successfully installed. It will take very less time. Just it required before I think I have a install without PowerShell administrative mode. You can sure that you, while installing you have a administrator as a permission, so that this install now completely install one package, and once package done as whatever the let's say I want to find uh, this is the second which I'm talk all the schema and table. If you want here this say whatever the by default the OS query created tables, like if you note this is a 227 277 tables by default created, and whatever the latest version they have, and here all the tables mentioned, all the tables corresponding column names, everything's here mentioned. A good part, all these table by default while installation OS query created for you. Just you have to choose which table you want, what kind of region almost, but this is not the only default table, but sometime you want to custom you to create new table as per this here whatever the OS query official documentation. If you look here go to the here OS query by default either the document, so not downloads schema home, and here docs. So in these docs you can find a different way, you can lots of options here. You can create creating new tables, plugin, lots of sorry, this is the very cool feature about the plugins. You can create the OS query plugin as well as they have provided the API. You can just call and use them. So let's look, these are the tables, whatever the tables you want, and depend upon your whatever the database, which database you want, like you want to for the all platform, or you want for Windows. Let's say I want window, or number of tables window have a 109 table by default, and all these tables, and these are all the tables, and these tables, what detail, what the column you have, so everything's here available, what the meaning, what the value they are. Want, like you want to, like CPU information, this is the one table. You want to know the our CPU information. By default, your device ID, model, manufacturer, process ID, and everything. Maybe you want to your host details. Just this is the host detail information you can check. So by default, you are saying lots of things. By default, this operating system, you know, whenever some operating systems, what are the basic things operating system doings, and for those all the basic things, they have created tables. So let's look our already we have installed our chocolatey, and whatever the things next, whatever the query you want to run, and just we have one of the query links, and just here check, hey, this is all the SQL query, and step by step whatever the query you have, you can do. So if you look here, the SQL query, so by default you can just launch the cell. How to launch? Just SQL osqueryi, just you say, hey, osqueryi, and whenever you're down, these are going to, because already installed, now it's wrong. So by default this, and if you want to need dot help, generally here query start from the dot, and you can say help, and they provide all kind of helps, like welcome to osqueryi and lead segment. If you want to all tables are on off, connection path, disconnect, echo, you want to exit from the program, exit feature, lots of help. Mode means the way you want to response, you want to get query response in the CSV file, column, line, list, and pretty SQL format. Lots of mode we have. And similarly print command is, you want to all the so all the created table, already created tables here, or you want to specific one table details, or maybe so the current value, summary, tables, types, lots of help available options here, right? So so let's I want to so all the tables. So here this mention, hey, just run the tables. So dot tables, by default they show all the tables which exist in my systems. Okay, so that's the program, processes, pipes, patches, OS informations, OS version, which OS version I want. Let's this is the your table name. Okay, just I want to, hey, I want to select a star from, and your table name. Oh, which table? Let's this is the table. Users. Okay, so this select all the things. So notice here they are selecting all the user details in my system, whatever the users have. But I want to this tabular format, or whatever the answer you want, they can, like similarly they share the syntax, like I want to know all the processes running on machine. Hey, this is all the processes, just run and select period. So they are all the processes which are running in machines I can found, and this can be output in the CSV file or anywhere you can text. And if you want to just option limit, I want to limit to lots of processes, maybe I want to just here say, hey, just limit you can say limit, let's I want to 5 top processes, just they return the one top five processes, and what is the path, where the process name, what is the PID, everything you can say. Anywhere here you can say you want to different output. Let's here say select a star from your OS query info. This is the OS query also is one information. So just run here OS query info. So notice by default this output come as row column. No, I want to set mode as that lot mode dot line. Hey, mode dot lines, and if you run, and after that again the same query you run, you are getting output like this. Hey, this is the OS query, this is the PID version, this is the UID, this is something, this is something. In this way you can get answer. So you can set your mode line or mode, whatever information you have, and multiple query you can even see this query join different PID, joining as well as option. So lots of here they have a written the multiple queries. Select star from osquery, from I, join this table, join this table, join this table. Multiple options you have, right? So you can say whatever the things you have. Select star on files. So if you have specific file you want, you can so choose, right? Yeah. So lots of you have to specify the file path which you want to check where the path is, right? So specific mention the path. They detail all your this is the path, your directory, or even subsidiary everything. Okay. Even if you know the file like whatever the information have, how many count like a file path this. Everything you can. That means here OS query help us different you can say additional things about your operating system. Maybe you don't know, but this osquery tool help us to visualize and get everything whatever you want. Okay, so good option. Let's simple you want to lots of you have to explore because the if you run tables they return all the tables, and here you can figure out key what are the services going on, what are the routes going on, a registry going on, OS correlated tables, and even groups, users, whatever like disk cache, all of the tables you have here. Lots of tables you can by default I think a window have they created, and you can what are the programs going on, what are the services going on, what are the time currently users. Let's say I want to if this is the table name I want to all the schema, so hey dot schema and just say users tables. So they share the schema of the user table. Hey, this is the user table, they have a column uid and different column. You want to only specific, hey I want to select a specific, I want to just user id and comma I want to let's select maybe something just username. This is the user id, gid signed, and this is the username, and that's the username comma username and from users. Okay, in this way you are only getting the two. Okay, by default this is the line mode. So if you want to set the different mode, just say hey dot help, and notice here I have an option dot mode, and dot mode you can set I want to csv line dist pretty whatever, say hey dot mode and set any one of them. Say dot just I want to set the line, so they written in a line. They set column, they set it in column. By default this is the default. So hey dot mode just say right maybe list, they written the list. Okay, check list, and after mode set, and if you run this query and they return like a list. If you want to set mode, they return the row column. So lots of they have options, you can just explore good option, and this whatever the we are doing from your here from the command lines, this is the good option. OS query given the plugin, given the API, these things you can get from API as well as, right? So whatever you want to registry, want to registry details of your packages, just select this is the registry and say select star from registry. Okay, and they detail our registry detail, all the registry currently we have. So all over the this is the registry hardware and more details you can see. This is the very powerful tool. Even we don't know about what kind of operating system information doing, this software is find out and tell you very simple query language. Okay, and you can find out everything whatever we have. So all the things, if you want to explain details, just read out this well documentation of the OS query available. And my initial thoughts, just we should aware sometime as a security analyst I or as a application builder, application developer, we want hey this information needed that on a particular OS particular site, all this information easily available as a just SQL language for you. Okay, dot tables. So I'm not going to more explore, just you explore and figure out different kind of CPU hardware time configuration, uptime, OS times, and even CPU information, CPU on, just get CPU information, connectivity, everything you can, right? Select star from, and you can get your CPU information, what is the CPU core, CPU lines, and if you want to just like mode set, mode line, and after you run this query, they give in this complete format. This is my device ID, whatever operating system, number of processes, CPU status, number of processes going on, logical processor, everything's up available, 64-bit machine, availability number of everything, and this information you can easily get here. And this is the one part where you can get this informations, and once you can say get, and whatever the information we have, like you can get from the your query mode, and all these informations you can also get from your API. Means as a application developer, we more familiar this information come me from the specific API. So they have a OS query given lots of your API plugins. You can just write API plugins, call the API, and this API return data to you. On your application, you can visualize, you can understand, you can analytics, you can store, and after that you can run analytics, and so very in interactives and chart and diagrams to the customers. Even this OS queries not just help us to give the static data, even we can schedule, hey OS query, this is the my specific query, you can run this in every 10 minutes. Every 10 minutes they are running queries, and after 30 seconds you just collect the data and give me the complete recorded data. So you even you can fire the execute query, and if you want to get kind of configurations or some file changes of some remote authentication authorization, many things you can say. If you just I'm not going to talk more about, but lots of things this API have here. If you just look, if you want to some kind of configurations, surely they are allow us, you can do configurations. Okay, and if maybe you want to kind of syslog configurations, debugging some tool, lots of configurations they have, and many times we use this file system configuration to configure all the things. And once you configure, just tell you runtime you want to, hey OS query, I want to every 10 seconds this file must be created. Yeah, this file, if you want, if any file changes, you want to just notify me, you can create them, you can delete them, whatever the operations you want to, just I just schedule, just do kind of configuration, kind of a query pack. You can just decide, hey, this is my query pack and this is my schedule times, and this information I want to run every time. And even they have a queries operation, discover query, and they have lots of things you can we have also either like a pack query, who has mentioned it is a package of query, you want to bundle of query, you can run. Okay, so lots of things we have some optional parameter. Every time schedule services we have, you can just schedule them and say, hey, schedule service, this is a query, run every interval 50 times, and you can write the browser plugin. And they have also very good options, they have a option available. You can nowadays multiple like a database, you know, this is a database, right, PGSQL, and lots of driver available, like JDBC driver, Hibernate driver. Similarly for OSK, they also have some, which language you are using, Java language or Go language using, they have available plugins, and you can easily integrate this information in your application. And this OS query tool help us to monitor complete our OS, not just only one networks, even the across the network, multiple networks, due to the remote plugins configurations options. We have a API available, plugin API available, so you can plug in. And good options is that OS query give us lots of way you can configure whatever you want. Just give the set of configuration to her, and according to configuration, osquery is responding you. So this is lots of things osquery do as a for the security analyst, for the SIM application, for the SIM developer. SIM is security information and event management base. This tool osquery as a tool uses to monitor or record whatever activity going on your device, maybe your hardware device, maybe software device, maybe your router, maybe your gateway, anything. So let's just explore and figure out. This is the very nice tool. From this note, I would like to say just thank you for listening to me. Thank you.